Good morning. Welcome back to Country Wife Mommy Life. Today we're going to make cherry jam and cherry jelly. Same shirt because I just got cherry all over me, and this shirt will not stain. So we're going to use this shirt for the second day in a row so that I don't get cherry all over me. Say hello. All right, we're going to make cherry jam today. All right, it is very hard to see in there because it's very dark. But I have about 8.5 pounds of cherries in here. They've just been pitted. And hey guys, and we're going to add a little bit of water in this, let it start cooking down. And then I'm gonna get out my stick blender, my immersion blender, and we're gonna kind of chop this up because these are gonna be way too big to put into jam. They'd just be too big of a bite. So that's what we're gonna get started on right now. All right, so I took the bowl of the cherry pit juice out of the fridge and I'm going to pour it into here, and then we're going to measure it and see how many cups of juice we actually have. All right, I got my cameraman helping me here because I need 2 hands for this. We're just going to very carefully pour that in there. All right. It's a lot of juice. All right, that beep sounds my dishwasher. All right, I'm actually going to taste this really quickly. See how strong it is. That's good. That's really good. Okay, and that's the microwave. All right, I'm half tempted to, because there's still quite a bit of, you know what, I think I'm going to. There's still juice in these cherries that are in here. I'm gonna bring, whoops, uh-oh. You wanna bring the camera closer? There's still plenty of cherry residue in here. And when you squeeze this, I mean, oh no, I'm making a mess. There's still juice in here. So what I might do is boil this down for a couple minutes and see what other juice I can get out of it. So I think I'm going to try that. All right, so I've kind of switched my setup here. I've got the cherry pits going back here, and we're going to get some more juice out of that. That's the color just by putting water on top of it. So there's way more juice in there. These have been cooking over here for a little bit, and then I've got my canner going over here, and yeah. So I've got my stick blender, and we're just gonna kind of chop these down and see what we've got out of it. I should turn the burner off first because that cord is awfully close. Okay, here we go. Woo! Yep, that's nice and steamy. Yay! Oh, you guys, the smell is so good. You can really see the liquid coming out in there. Oh, it's so good. All right, so I'm going to just keep blending this up until it's just nice and, well, chopped up. All right, so this is pretty much pureed down. I don't know if you can tell, but there's not very many chunks in here. Not huge chunks anyway. I can still feel some cherries on the bottom, but this is really nice. This is kind of where I want my jam to be. And some of those, there's a big cherry right there. Some of this stuff will continue to break down, but the majority of it has been kind of pureed down a little bit and more into like a jam type consistency. So now I'm going to add my sugar and my lemon juice. So I need 1/3 of a cup per pound of cherries for the recipe I'm following, And I've got about 8 pounds of cherries in there, so we're going to do this 8 times. All right. So my recipe calls for 1 teaspoon per pound. So I've got 8 pounds of cherries in here. So that's 8 teaspoons. And I measured that out into my, I measured that out and put it in the measuring cup. Now we're going to stir all this together. That is starting to steam a little bit. So we're going to boil that for just a few minutes. Now we're going to stir all this up. This is going to be so good. My kids love this on homemade bread and for peanut butter and cherry jam sandwiches. So good. I can still feel some cherries down here at the bottom that did not get broken up. So there's still some big chunks in there. But they should break up during the cooking process. And if not, I'll zap them another time with the immersion blender. Alright, now we're going to let it cook and do its thing. And while this cooks, I'm going to go catch up on the laundry that I haven't done for the last 3 days because we've been working with cherries. Alright. Yes, my spoon is going to be stained, but it's going to have a nice purpley color. Alright, so I could probably keep going, but I got a baby who's getting fussy. Anyway, I drained off the rest of this juice, and you can definitely tell a color difference in these cherry pits. Also, the fruit is really shrunken down, and it's really hot too, but the fruit is really shrunken down, and I got a lot more juice out of that, so that's exciting. So now we're going to measure this juice and see how much I actually have here. I know I've got way more than the 2 little boxes of pectin that I bought. So yeah, I'm going to need some more pectin. But let's measure this and see what we've got.
Oh, you're so squirmy.
So I have lots of juice here. So this is 7 cups of juice. That's still hot. 7 cups of juice in there. So this will be 1 batch. And I'm going to be using that pectin over there. I did not get the low sugar kind. That's all that my local store had, so I'm going to have to get some different pectin somewhere else. But then there's 8 cups here, 4, and that's 12, and that one's 13. So 13 cups of juice here, so I need more pectin there, but that's what my local store had, so I'll have to run somewhere else, probably to Walmart. But anyway, we need 8 cups of sugar in here. Yes, that's a lot of sugar, and it's my fault for not getting the low sugar pectin. Anyway, we're going to use what we've got, so 8 cups of sugar in this pot. So this is a 2-cup measurer. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I need to get that to a rolling boil. Alright, this has now come to a rolling boil. So this is the juice, sugar, and I had to throw some lemon juice in there because it was just way too sickeningly sweet. This jam back here is done. Ooh, you can't even see it, it's so dark. That jam back there is done, and we need to ladle it into jars. But it's time to put the pectin in this. So that's what we're going to do next. So I have to put the pectin in and boil it for exactly 1 minute. So we added the pectin, we boiled it hard for 1 minute, and now my son is filling up the jars. And so far we're getting, He's on his third jar. So we're going to keep doing that until this is all gone. All right, so everything is in here. We have the jams in the front and the jellies kind of in the back, and I'll really have to look at them after they come out and make sure which one is which. But we've got them all in there, and then we've got a little bit left over in here. We've got a nice sloppy mess, but we'll clean it up in a little bit. But we're gonna, oh, be careful, son, that's hot. Set it down and do that. But we've got a little bit left over in here, and we're gonna fill up this jar, and we're just gonna put that in the fridge after it cools down and enjoy it first, because it's delicious.
Bye-bye.
Here is our final count with all the jelly and the jam. So I did want to take a moment to just kind of show you this. So this was the first batch that I did with the pectin. I messed this up completely. I ended up following a recipe by mistake for liquid pectin instead of the powdered pectin. And I did not realize that because I don't work with pectin very often. So this is just like a nice syrup. It ended up being a syrup. So I have 6 pints of syrup, and we'll use that on pancakes and stuff like that. So it's not going to be a waste. We'll end up using that. This ended up being our cherry jam that we canned. 1 jar did not seal, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then this is the jelly that I did with the other pectin, and you can see it is nice and thick. It's not going anywhere. So we had success with that. So I got 8 pints of cherry jelly done, and then we got 6 of the cherry jam, and then 6 pints of cherry, well, we're going to call it syrup, cherry syrup that we'll use on pancakes and in smoothies and stuff. So with the jar that did not seal, if you remember, I had 2 quarts of cherries that also did not seal. And I think what's happening with that, I made sure to wipe my rims really, really well, and I washed my lids and all that. I have heard people talk about the quality of the ball lids have gone down over time, and they don't work with some of the older jars. I have a lot of these jars are from my grandmother when she was canning back in the 50s and the 60s. My mom gave those to me, and so I've noticed on some of those old jars that the lids just are not sealing well. So eventually I'm gonna have to switch my lids to either the Superb or like the 4 jars canning lids. I've heard really, really good things about those. But for now, it's just a seal fail here and there. We end up using the food right away, so it's not a problem. You can just throw that in the fridge. Yes, you can use the scissors, that's fine.
I actually need these for Micah's Band-Aid because that thing sticking up is really annoying.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut that off.
Okay, thank you for helping him. So I'll have to switch my brand eventually. Hello.
Hello.
And we'll do that in the future. Well, thanks for coming along on our cherry journey. That was a lot of cherries. That was a lot of processing. It took almost a week to get all that done. But we're very happy with the result. We've got lots of yummy food in the future, don't we?
Yep.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.